morning.
First of all, congratulations on being named Best FIFA Men's Coach for the second year in a row. I know you quoted Arsene Wenger in saying to be a good coach, a world-class team helps.
Yes.
And obviously you've got 4 players named in the World 11 as well. But ultimately you're responsible for assembling and getting the best out of that team. So what does an award like this mean to you personally?
Well, thank you very much, first of all. Yeah, I'm grateful for it. Obviously, for the first moment, it was like everybody else. I was like looking a little bit wide-eyed, like, how did that happen? I didn't expect it, not at all. I thought Hansi Flick won pretty much everything in the last year. That would be the case. I wanted to be there because I wanted to show respect, because I was last year in Milan, and when it was a really nice event. And Pochettino was there as well, and this kind of stuff. So I thought that night, if I will be nominated again, I will show up, even if I have no chance to win it. And then, now meanwhile, I know that it's like obviously 4 different categories. Managers all over the world voted, the majority of them voted for me, the players as well, media and fans obviously more for Hansi Flick, which I get completely. And then it's not my choice. So I'm happy about it, to be honest. It's a special thing for my coaches and me. I saw them now already. They are buzzing. And actually, if you would have asked me, are you the world's best coach? I would have said no. If you would have asked me, do you have the world's best coaches around you? I would have said yes. So we take the award like this. It's all good. There are more important things in the world, but it's a nice one.
I've got to ask you about this again, because obviously there was a vote yesterday. 5 substitutes wasn't voted in, but the naming of 9 players on the bench was. How adequate a compromise is that, in your view?
No, I think it's 2 different decisions, but I'm not sure it's a compromise, but it's, yeah, come on. I don't want to, and I really think I cannot do the favor again to create here headlines, because I don't want, everybody knows my opinion about the case. And you have to ask other people. There were 10 clubs, and everybody knows the 10 clubs, which voted against it, against the thing which was not about the competition, which was not about advantages or stuff like that. It was only about player welfare. And they voted against it. Pretty much only them voted against it in Europe, the world, if I'm right. So I don't know what the percentages of leagues who have now 5 subs. I don't know it exactly, because I don't know about leagues out of Europe. In Europe, all the leagues have it. And I think there must be a good reason for it. And in all these leagues, there is competition. Eh? So in all these leagues, every club wants to stay in the league. Every club wants to win some clubs wants to win the league, but for sure all of them want to stay in the league. But here's the only country, pretty much the only league, because the championship decided differently, where we do it differently. So it's not me to give an answer. You have to ask the others, and I will try to catch up with all the articles you write about that if you do that.
Just following on from the big positive of the win against Spurs, another positive was seeing Thiago back out on the pitches at Kirby. Just how close is he now to a return? And you almost have to hold him back a little bit, because I think he would be as eager as anyone to really get his Liverpool career up and running now. He
is. And we already made jokes here. But we said, I think we should sign Thiago for January. And so it gets closer and closer, and it is a good way. But we will not rush it. We cannot rush it, and he will not, because he's not allowed to rush it. So, but of course, it's nice having him on the pitch, training, doing a lot of stuff. But he was not in team training yet, and that's actually the final step. We will see how this weekend looks with him on the pitch, and then next week, can he be in team training? I don't know in the moment, 100%. Few tests. He has to pass a few tests on the pitch until we make that decision. And then, yeah, hopefully that's not only for him the case. With Millie it will be similar. With Shaq it will be similar. Did I forget? Anybody? If I forgot somebody, it's not that I'm disrespectful. It's just a lot of players are injured in the moment. So.
Thank you, Vinny. And we go to Mandy and say congratulations for winning the Christmas tree off with Vinny there. Much better. So your 2 questions, Mandy.
Thank you, first of all. Not quite Jürgen's, but I'll take it. Jürgen, some would say that Palace have had a very inconsistent start, but they've obviously beaten Southampton, United, they've drawn with Spurs. So how impressed have you been by them so far?
Very. Just because of the talent of the group, so I have to say. So results is one thing, and it's very important for the specific clubs. But for me, it's much more important what kind of performance level they are capable of, and that's impressive, I have to say. If you go through the ranks, the strikers they have in the squad, it's now they played with Zaha and Benteke. And Benteke again had a red card, but on the bench in that moment is Ayew, which was one of the main players last year, and Batshuayi. So they have made good signing with Eze, a really good, talented boy. Gives them the freedom to put Zaha a little bit higher up on the pitch because maybe a similar profile, the 2 boys, and very experienced last line. Made Kanouté now a centre half. Mamadou Sakho is injured, so they could even rotate. I think Cahill and who else was not even in the squad for the last game, which will play 100%. And Schlupp. I think Cahill and Schlupp were arrested for the game against us, so that just shows you how confident they are and how comfortable the situation they have. And so I'm impressed about the performance level they are able to play. But consistency, I have nothing to do and don't know exactly about that. But they look good, they look sharp, so will be a tough one.
You're unbeaten in 9 league games, but you haven't won away in the Premier League since September. How much of a concern in it is that, and how do you turn it around?
Not that much a concern because we 100% honest. We didn't feel it. Maybe that's the mistake, but it's not that we. It was a little bit about the opponents away. We were slightly unlucky as well in 1 or 2 games, I would say. But on the other side, it's a fact. It's the truth. We didn't win a lot away from home, so we try to change that by doing the right things again and the not so right things not anymore. Put another shift in. Just these kind of things. Playing the best possible football is actually the plan, away and home, and from time to time we could achieve that, and we try tomorrow again.
Okay, we go to Ian Kennedy and then James from TalkSport and then Carl, and that'll conclude the Open. But Ian Kennedy from BBC Merseyside first.
Hi Jürgen, just following on from that point, are you finding, because you are the champions now, are you finding this season, particularly away from home, as we've mentioned there, that teams are raising their game because they want to beat the champions? Does that make it more difficult away from home this season?
It would be probably a better question to ask the other teams if they are more desperate now to beat us. Honestly, since I'm at Liverpool, my feeling is wherever we go, everybody wants to beat us. So the great history of this club, for different reasons, doesn't. Not a lot of other teams fancy the great history of this club. So I said it once when we came to Newcastle in a situation where Newcastle was completely safe in the league and stuff like. We came there and it was like the World Cup final, and I thought, wow, what's going on here? So the reason must be in the past. Because we didn't do anything wrong against Newcastle since I'm here, at least I think. So that's it. I don't know, but we didn't even come in a situation where we felt like the reigning champions, if you want, maybe the first or the second match day. Since then, we just tried to sort our own problems and to get through it somehow. So our smallest problem in the moment is that we won last year, and everybody wants to beat us now. That everyone wants to beat us. I know that's a problem, but is it because we won the league last year? No idea.
And it's so important to make a fast start right from the beginning of a game. I think it was something you spoke about after the Fulham game, but you seem to do it against Tottenham, okay? Yeah.
No, it's true. Yeah, that's true. I think it was Gini in the dressing room before the Tottenham game. Don't let us waste the first half again. He was shouting through the dressing room. We should have shouted that again before we came out of the dressing room after halftime, because we wasted kind of 10-15 minutes then. So obviously, it was a different game, but makes completely sense. But if you don't have the perfect start, which is completely normal because it can happen, then you have to restart in the next minute, not after halftime. So we have space for improvement. It's incredible. But the boys played a pretty good game in the last game. It was a really difficult game. And so now we feel good in this moment, and we try to use that.
Fantastic. Okay, we've got James from TalkSport, Carl from Press Association, and if people can start using the hands up for the breakout section, that'd be great. James, TalkSport first.
Jürgen, I believe I'm right in saying there's something like 62 hours between the end of the Spurs match and the start of the Palace match tomorrow. So how have preparations been for the game, and what sort of contest are you expecting? Because Crystal Palace are in quite a similar situation.
Yeah, that's the main difference this time to all the other games we played at 12:30. When two teams have exactly the same, it doesn't make the timing better. It's just then obviously a fair competition. So yes, we had that much more often than all the other teams, but that's now not the problem. The problem is now between Wednesday night and Saturday 12:30. There's not a lot of time for anything, and we will see who can cope better with that. But it's the most tricky thing to do for a manager, I can tell you.
Okay, Carl Markham's finished the Open, then we'll go to the embargo, which I'll make clear.
Hi, Jürgen.
Carl?
Just following on from that, after this game, you've got an 8-day break before your next game. I'm just wondering if that gives you a chance to give the players an extended period of time off in this period.
Yeah, we meet again an hour before the West Brom game. No, yeah, they will have a day off, of course. But the thing is that we have to prepare the rest of the season as well. So it's like do nothing or do recovery is a massive difference. But of course they will have time off. That's clear. But we will for sure use the first 2-3 days for extended recovery. However, we'll do that. Not finally decided yet. And but then we will prepare the West Brom game, obviously, and the rest of the season, because you cannot train in this period. So yes, the intensity of the amount of games is really a hard one, but no time for proper training is another challenge, and that's what we obviously want to use then, and hopefully it will help us for the rest of the season.
And also, continuing that point, Andy Robertson's played every minute of every Premier League game so far. Gini's played every minute, apart from maybe one game. I'm just wondering, as a manager, how welcome is that for you to know you can rely on sort of the resilience of those players, week in, week out?
Very welcome. But again, don't want to speak about it. Just happy about it. Fine. No more words.